last night. His
Yeah.
team was almost done, but they're back. JC, you're on the Titan Number Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Gym. I don't think any of the Facebooks or the YouTubes are working today for some reason.
Oh dear. Well, uh, get those pipes cleared. Well, we're working, and so as we go here, QB, I was really first thing I want to say is, I read a lot from the Texas fan base, and I actually talked to a couple people who came to the game from Texas, and they could not have been more impressed with what their experience was like here in Gainesville. So they were complimentary of Gainesville. They were complimentary of the swamp for sure. They were really impressed with that. Even though one guy said it reminded him of a car lot, but it was very exciting, or a very impressive college atmosphere. And then, of course, the campus. Folks really enjoyed the just how spread out the campus was and all the tailgating that they ran into. They just had a good trip. So the grade was an A for the trip and an F for the game, and that's what you hope for when you entertain a fan base, right, QB?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it's no different than when I go to new places. Uh, I thought their campus is enormous,
Oh, it's so
and
big.
it's a little strange because it's kind of downtown. It
Yeah,
reminded me of like Georgia Tech.
yeah. It's more metropolitan, whereas
Yeah.
this is more Southern college atmosphere, collegiate,
It's
very
still,
quiet,
I still say this, and
very
people
loud.
may get upset with me, but I still feel like Florida is like the outlier of the original Southeastern Conference.
The outlier. Okay.
Yeah, because of just the way the campuses are when you look at like Auburn, Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, Mississippi State,
Yeah. That's
LSU,
yeah. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it's and
Much
and then the attire, I should say, that people wear to
a
games. It's
little bit.
where, these guys they get dressed up in their sundresses or their nice polos or their nice coat and ties. Florida, it's like we're going to the Daytona 500.
Well, yeah, but it's so much of a larger campus with a much more broad
Yeah.
student body. Where these schools like Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, they're all very much the same.
Yeah.
Clemson, those schools are very much the same. Well, QB, before you go rambling about some of the text messages that we're getting and some of the message we're getting, I want to run a few things over through by you about the poll. I've got a JC's top 12. I'm going to blow through for you today. And then I wanted to mention the preseason top 15 had five SEC schools, and right now, five SEC schools are still there, but none have moved up in the AP poll. Three have moved out. That would include Texas, Florida, and South Carolina. Texas was preseason number one. Florida was number 15. South Carolina was number 13. Oklahoma's moved up from 18 to 6, Texas A&M from 19 to 5, and I'll get to what my point is here in a minute. Mississippi's gone from 21 to 4, Tennessee 24 to 12, Alabama's 8 and 8, LSU's gone from 9 down to 11, and Georgia's gone from 5 to 10. Clemson was, by the way, ranked fourth. They're not rated. Penn State was ranked 2. They're not rated. So quite a different look for the AP poll right now. But what I was going to mention was, we talk about the Big Ten, and we talk about the Oregons and the Ohio States, and we used to include Penn State. But listen to Oregon's next 5 games: Indiana, at Rutgers, Wisconsin, at Iowa, Minnesota. Let's go to South Carolina's schedule. Next 5 games: at LSU, versus Oklahoma, versus Alabama, at Mississippi, at Texas A&M. That's 5 potential straight losses for the good old boys in Columbia. And that's just shows you the depth of what this league is about this year relative to some of the other conferences, especially the Big Ten, who wants to compare itself to the SEC all the time. So, having said that, my top 12, because we have 12 playoff teams, starts with the Miami Hurricanes at 1, Ohio State 2, Mississippi 3, because I can't put 2 Big Ten teams in the top 3, Oregon 4, Texas A&M 5, Texas Tech 6. I like Oklahoma 7. I got Alabama 8, Indiana 9, Missouri 10 because they haven't lost yet. They haven't played a road game yet either. I got Georgia at 11 and Georgia Tech at 12. You like that, Paul?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out why the Facebook comments aren't coming up. I have to pull them up on my dang
Well,
phone.
well,
Um,
It's technological issues.
No, I mean everything works. It's just I don't know. On YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing.
Okay, that works now.
What does?
YouTube, that's good.
Yeah, the Facebook Lives aren't popping up on my
Okay,
laptop for some reason. But
okay.
Zach says, Shane, is Kiffin's son going to end up playing QB at a big program? I don't know. He's a 10th grader and he's the backup. He doesn't play at Oxford High. Uh, so I don't know.
QB, I've noticed a lot of folks comparing Mississippi to Florida, program wise, brand wise, coaching wise, everything wise, because of Lane Kiffin. Let me give you some Florida numbers and stats that Mississippi doesn't really quite have, and some differences in the two programs. Florida has 3 national championships and 4 appearances, 13 SEC appearances, and 7 SEC titles. Mississippi has 0 of all of that. The administration gave Dan Mullen and Billy Napier so far 4 years. How long is enough when they talk about coaching turnover? The NIL narrative is a lie because they don't think Florida really has much of an NIL. Well, it's a top 10 NIL, and it's heavily invested in its roster since the booster uproar. And UF's recruiting footprint of stadium and finances are certainly bigger than Mississippi's. And this comes from a tweet from a guy named Maverick, and he was dead on about all 4 of those points. So before we start talking about how great it is in Oxford and Mississippi, which we will be going to visit in November, hopefully with a winning record, maybe, just keep in mind that the schools are dramatically different in terms of the past, the tradition, and the history of these programs. Very different.
Have you not heard that on this program?
Well, you bring it
2
out
years?
in a very general form. I try to
Yeah.
bring out some specifics, but yes, you have said this over and over and over again. Now, does that mean anything as it relates to this season and what could happen? No, it doesn't at all.
Mm-mm.
But it's the choice that you brought up that he has to whether he wants
Yeah.
to go to a program with this type of pedigree,
The
or
brands,
if he
there's no
wants-
comparison.
or if he wants to start something right, or if he wants to be Mississippi's Bear Bryant. And that's possible. He may
Johnny
want that.
Vault. He'd be greater than Johnny Vault.
Right, he would be, and the whole state would basically revere him as their Bear Bryant.
Yeah,
Or
they
Nick.
already do.
Well, wait till he wins something and then see what happens.
Yeah, Deanne
He hasn't
says
won anything yet.
Yeah, but he's won games. That's a big jump from back in the day. Deanne says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, JC needs a group of 5 school in his top 12.
Okay, I like that. I would say
The Memphis Tigers.
you have to look at Memphis and you have to look at South Florida.
I think Memphis is better than them.
Okay. Well, South Florida did something that the Texas Longhorns couldn't do.
That's
So
very true.
let's keep that in mind.
Well,
But
you know what's crazy? If you go back and you think about it, our All-American snapper snaps it over a dude's head, the punter's head.
right,
It just that's an embarrassing loss, regardless.
no doubt.
Yellow Car Wash, JC, go get your car washed today. It's locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Wilson Road, and coming soon in Jonesville. We
I will
appreciate
be at the Horseshoe in about 3 weeks, and I'm going to give you a report of what that.
You're going to the Ohio State game?
I'm going to go to that game. I have to go because I've got so many Ohio State friends, and they swear to me that
Who are
the
they playing?
atmosphere. They're playing Penn State that day, which
Ooh.
was exciting. Right now, I'm not sure, but it'll still be an exciting Big Ten day, and hopefully the weather will be really cold. But what I'm asking is them to try to prove to me that atmosphere can compare to what we saw Saturday in Gainesville, what we've seen in Tuscaloosa, Baton Rouge, Knoxville, Athens, Auburn, on and on and on and on. I got to find out. So I'm just going to go and find out. That's what I'm going to do for you, QB. I'm going to let you know.
All right, you do that.
Yeah. Every seat in that old dump is a bench seat, I think, unless you pay, exorbitant ticket prices to get maybe one of the 2,000 chairbacks in that 99,000 seat stadium, because they do have standing room there. But it's either a bench or your shoes. That's how you stand in, and that's how you find yourself in the Great Horseshoe. So I'm going to find out what that's all about, and I will report back on November the 3rd. I'll be back here. That's the day I think Florida plays Georgia. So I'm gonna watch both games. I have a feeling they'll be on at different times. So
We're going to be on at 3:30. I can tell you that.
right. Yes, that's right.
I'm sure your game will be at noon.
Yeah, probably.
Joseph says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, according to 24/7 Sports, UF is top 10 overall in NIL, but they don't have them in the top 10 for football NIL.
Well, I was just reading what the school's responsible for, and that is part of the point that I was making with the comparison between the two.
Adam
That's
says
all.
you should run for office, JC.
Oh, well, Adam, thank you. If you want to be my campaign
Manager?
supporter, you want to support, I'll get you the name of my campaign manager. I really was impressed. I just can't tell you, all the bad mouthing and all the complaining that's been done here before that Texas game, including a lot from myself, and I'll admit that, but I think that we had reason for it. I will just tell you that Saturday, going back once again, I know I have to look forward to Texas A&M, so I got to get on with it. But that was the best Saturday they've had here in his entire tenure, and
Agree.
maybe in the last 7 or 8 years.
I
It was
agree.
just such a great day, and the fans were just phenomenal. The team responded, and it was just something that we've not had here for such a long time. I go back to Will Greer against Mississippi at night with Jim McElwain.
Yeah.
Those kinds of games, you just don't forget about those. But now they've got to focus. That's a 24-hour rule. You get to celebrate that for 24 hours, and then you have to move forward
Yeah,
because
move on.
Elko is going to be waiting for him, and that's going to be harder than anything they've probably played up to this point, including the Miami game, in my opinion, because of the atmosphere, where they're going to play, the environment, everything that's added in, the fact that A&M thinks they can beat the Houston Texans right now. That's you got to knock them down a notch. You got to knock them down a notch. We'll see if Florida can pull it off. The schedule has been unbelievable, what the Florida Gators have been asked to do. But if they pull it off, and I've even heard nutty ass scenarios where can the Gators make the playoffs if they win the rest of their games? And
Think of that.
I
Think of
say,
that.
hit
Gator
the
Josh
brakes.
has drank the Kool-Aid.
Hit the
I
brakes.
love Gator Josh from Wild Mama. He says, gentlemen, if we win out going 9-3, we are very likely to play in the SEC championship
It's
game.
fun to dream, and he's right about that. And everything's right.
It's amazing what one game does.
Well, it is, but mathematically, he's dead on. He's absolutely right, isn't he? Do they have? Yeah, they have one loss.
They got to win them all. They got to win them all.
Why not?
This is Rick from Jupiter on the Titan Mar text line.
Who can cover Dallas Wilson?
Some of the new NFL mock drafts were released, and the Indiana QB is the #1 overall pick. What's your opinion about him? I've not even seen Mendoza play. I know Mendoza did some good stuff out at Cal. He's a transfer from Cal.
Indiana.
We'll find out. I don't know what time they play Oregon. I'll try to watch some of that if I can. Kevin says on the Titan Mar
Yeah.
text, hey guys, I saw Dallas Wilson at Big Mills Cheesesteaks.
There you go.
Just in case you were wondering, he's still wide open. All right.
Yeah. Well, even when he's not wide open, he will battle through the coverage and make the play. Indiana plays Oregon in their 55,000 seat stadium that I've been told is the greatest home field advantage in America, which is laughable. But they play Indiana at 3:30. Their QB, you can watch it.
They play at 3:30.
They play at 3:30,
All right,
which
I'll
is
be watching
12:30
press box,
out
yeah.
there.
I'll watch it on my YouTube, on the phone, on the YouTube, on the bus ride over, and
Yeah.
I'll go to the press box.
How excited do you think the Penn State fans are with Northwestern coming to town this weekend? Here's a game that just blows the mind. Michigan at Southern Cal.
Yep.
Some really interesting football. It's a great card. We're going to have on Win with JC tomorrow at 8:30. We'll have Brian Edwards, our professional Vegas handicapper, and we will go through an entire card tomorrow. A lot of picks, a lot of games. Make sure you tune into that.
Well, JC,
We're excited about it tomorrow.
why don't you give us a couple of Peachland Dental picks for the college? We're already in that part of the season where they're playing Wednesday night games. You know that?
So that's right. We've got
You got Missouri State and Middle Tennessee State playing, and Liberty and UTEP. Anything you like for the listeners out there?
Not at all. But these games with the small schools, if I followed the small schools close enough, I think there would be plenty of angles and edges you could decipher out of those games. But, East Carolina and Tulane is actually a really good game, and that's tomorrow night. The problem is that they're going up against the baseball, and the baseball is a little bit more interesting right now. It would help if the Cubs won today. I will tell you this. I like the teams that are down to force a fifth game. That means I think the Cubs will beat the Brewers today at Wrigley. They have to win twice at Wrigley. The Yankees to beat the Blue Jays to force a game 5, and then the Tigers at home to take down Seattle and force a game 5 in Seattle. And the Phillies with Alex Nola tonight at Los Angeles against Yamamoto, a big underdog there. I think the Phillies respond and force game 4.
I like the Mariners to wrap it up. I think the Mariners are going to win the World Series.
You like the Mariners? Is that because of their pitching or what?
I have no idea. I just my buddy AJ Przinsky told me he thought that's who was going to win it
Oh,
all.
so AJ likes them and you like AJ. So I get it.
Well, AJ texts me more than anybody during Gator football games.
I don't know if
He raises hell like you would not believe.
well, and that's cool. I met him. I remember in the parking lot, former White Sox World Series champion.
Well, he's on the call for that Mariners Tigers game from
Okay, yeah, no, I think the Mariners are very good, but until someone beats the Dodgers, dude, it's the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Dodgers.
Yeah. So um Kevin says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plunge, Shane, I'm a sicko Gator too. We're going all the way, baby, straight to the playoffs.
It's
I mean, I can't. Well, I want us to keep. I want it to everybody to be excited, but
we went from not being able to get a first down to now beating everybody on the rest of the
yeah.
Well, listen, let's be honest. The defense is overachieved. It has become the story of the team is the defense.
Yeah. You know, they've done a good job, JC, because I mean, think about every game we played this year.
Yeah.
I can't remember although it was one against South Florida when they got us on the quick snap and they threw a go route for about a 65-yard touchdown. Other than that,
that's it.
There have been no big plays, right?
Right.
They're keeping the ball just like they did last year.
Yeah.
They keep the ball in front of them, and they want you to have to drive the length of the field, which is a great plan because the odds of driving the length of field without a holding call or a false start put you behind the chains, which happened to Texas a lot.
Well,
good plan. Good
I mean,
plan.
just think about it. If they don't turn it over 5 times at LSU, the defense played good enough for that team to win. If the offense wasn't totally inept at Miami at all, and you got to credit Miami for this, but they just wore out against Miami, but they kept them in the game. A lot better than what the Florida State showed, I think. So, yeah, the defense has been the story of this team, and then the emergence of number 6, in my opinion, who is a difference maker on that offense. It just elevates everybody's play. Now, hopefully, DJ throws it to the right color jersey on Saturday night. He's going to have to do that, but it helps to have a guy like number 6 out there. He's unbelievable. I think he's a fantastic player.
Gator Art says, breaking news. There's no chance Napier beats a top 5 team on the road. You know, JC, I believe this is correct. Somebody told me this, and I think I mentioned it the other day. I think we've only won 2 road SEC games since he's been here.
It's not been good. Yeah.
And we haven't beaten anybody ranked on the road.
No, it's not been good. It's been pathetic. But listen, if Trevor Lawrence can beat the Chiefs, anything can happen. All right.
Trevor's pretty good. I don't know why people don't like him.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's had a lot of guys drop the ball on him, but his quarterback ratings were pretty bad. But he's done better with Cohen than I think he did with Peterson. Even during the year the team made the playoffs, Jacksonville had a playoff atmosphere Monday night. I got to watch that, and I was very excited. That was quite a game, especially when Devin Lloyd went 99 yards on a pickoff. You'd have thought the Jaguars won the damn AFC Championship.
That was a very good play. The very, very good disguise by them on Mahomes on that play. All right, this day of sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. 1995, Edgar Martinez drives home the tying and winning runs to rally the Mariners to a 6-5 win in the bottom of the 11th.
You got to say
the
that.
New York Yankees to win the AL division
Yankee
series.
hater. You hate the pinstripe. You're such a Yankee hater. Well, I recall that as a Kingdome. Remember the old Kingdome in Seattle? That's where Ken Griffey played. Yeah.
Okay. Skipper on the Facebook Live brought to you by Melton Law. This is a fact.
I like it.
3rd down conversions will be critical for us. JC.
Yeah.
The last 2 games the Aggies have played.
Right.
Do you know what the 3rd down conversions are against them?
No, what are they?
So between Auburn and Mississippi State, they were 1 for 24 on 3rd down.
Wow.
Think about that.
Wow. That's
now Auburn's
incredible.
Auburn's offense ain't real good, but they got some dudes on it.
They do.
Mississippi State, I think Jeff Levy's a really good offensive coach.
Hmm.
But they go in 2 games, 1 for 24 on third downs. So
1 for 24. I love this optimism from the fan base. Here's Chris. Spurrier said yesterday that Billy was and told Billy that Duke was 1-3 in '89 and ended up 8-3 as ACC champs.
yeah,
I mean,
but then Coach preface I was there when Coach said it, but then Coach said, "I don't think we're playing Maryland, Wake Forest, NC State.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
we're walking into the hornet's nest against some of these teams." Dan says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, the Gators will be the first team to win the national championship and fire their coach.
No. I tell you, it's exciting to see the fans back in it, back in excited again. We haven't mentioned the old Mrs. Coach name once, and I'm not going to do it. Not right now. So let's just get
Coach
excited.
called him yesterday.
Who
Coach
did?
Spurrier and Lane talked yesterday.
Well, coaches
They
talk.
just talked about it, because Lane said he always loves Spurrier. That's why he wears the visor, blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah. No,
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Law. Shane, how long will it take Joe Flacco to get up to speed with the Bengals? Is it possibly play Sunday versus the Packers? I'd play him. Look, when you've been in the league as long as Joe Flacco, like I said, everybody runs the same
He
plays.
knows everything. Yeah.
Everybody runs the same plays. He's just got to change those plays to terminology he knows. I tell this all the time. I don't know if I told this story on here, JC.
Yeah.
I was retired, or as I like to tell people, you don't retire from professional sports. You are done playing because nobody wants you anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to walk away from that. I was done playing. Drew Bledsoe had been dinged up. I can't remember who their backup was at the time. He got dinged up. So I get a call from Buffalo. This is when they played 4 preseason games, and it was the last preseason game, which, it used to always be played on Thursday nights. So they have a longer week and a half to get ready for the regular season.
Right.
So I fly out for my physical on Monday. I go meet with Sam Weiss, who is the quarterback coach. Mike Mularkey was the head coach. They said, okay, we're going to sign you. Now, granted, we're playing on Thursday at Detroit. So Tuesday, or maybe I flew up on Tuesday. Anyway, long story short,
Okay.
they end up when we travel on Wednesday, as we're getting on the plane, they're like, you're starting the game. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, I need a playbook. So they give me the playbook, and they said, just write down 15 plays that you like. So I wrote down 15 plays that I liked, and basically had no idea what their terminology was, but I transitioned it into what I knew from Coach Spurrier's offense. Best preseason game I've ever played in my life.
There you go. Yeah.
And I ended up being there the whole year, and they signed me back the next year. So
Yeah. No, he and Zach Taylor will hit like that. They'll connect.
Yeah.
No. But their problem is not offense. Their problem is stopping.
Well, it is offense because damn Jake Browning threw like 4 interceptions.
You're right, but defensively, and actually, you're right. Their offensive line is horrible, and their defense is horrible. They quite honestly could be the worst team in the nation. You know who the worst team in the NFL is not, or who is not the worst team in the NFL? It's not the Saints. And everybody wanted to make it the Saints, but I think Kellen Moore's got. He's overachieving with that group. They are playing hard. They play hard. The Saints do. And they had a lead on Buffalo in the fourth quarter. I think that's right. But the Bengals are awful. They just flat out lay down. So how many Gator hats do I own? This is Zach on YouTube. I have 5. I have a golf hat. I have 4 university hats. I like the UF logo, not the alligator head, the robotic, overpaid for, consultant-driven, New York City created Gator. I like the barrel-chested Gator. And I like the U and the F interlocked. That's what I like. I have those hats. Thank you for the question, Zach. Barone says he's been to the Horseshoe and Beaver Stadium. He says they compete with Swamp, but in completely different ways. Well, I'm sure loud is loud wherever you go. When you get 100,000 people together screaming, yeah, it sounds the same. But the Florida fans, according to the Texas fans, were the most intimidating they've seen because they played in the Big 12 and there wasn't one place in the Big 12 that even remotely compared to what they saw Saturday. They couldn't believe it. And they said, damn, we need that in Austin. I said, well, get out of bed and show up.
No, dude, their crowd was great last
They're
year.
good. They're good. But really, does anybody put Austin in the top 5, 6, 10, whatever of college football environments? I mean, in the stadium,
Well, it's a different type of clientele there too. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Kind of like the old, it's kind of like a Big Ten or, North Carolina crowd. Monty, thanks for your joke. I don't know if I should read it on the air, but it was great. This is a text from Mark from West Palm Beach on the Titan Mar text line. Would love to hear JC's rant on LeBron James' announcement yesterday.
Well,
what happened? I missed it.
I think about LeBron James about as often as I think of the Easter Bunny. I mean, it's just not a guy that I think of.
Do you have any idea what he announced?
I do not. I found it interesting that this Feinbaum guy, I think, according to Clay Travis, gets booted off ESPN, but they give Stephen A. Smith, who wants to run for president, $100 million. So explain that to me. I don't know if that happened or not. We'll see.
Oh, I got you. Jack says LeBron, they made it sound like he was going to retire, but he was doing a liquor ad.
What is he, 39 years old?
I have no idea. No idea.
Well, we're going to pick some winners tomorrow. That's the beauty of the podcasting mornings here in Gator Country. And everybody wants to say we didn't do well last week. I think we actually did just fine. There were some games we missed, but I think we had plenty of winners last week. And we're going to start keeping records. But last week was kind of like a pilot show just to get things going. We'll be very polished up and ready to roll tomorrow from 8:30 and it may go past 9 o'clock. You know what? If we're having fun, we may go to 9:10. And then I'm looking for advertisers. I'm looking for somebody to sponsor this. I've got a real estate agent, but she's hard to get a hold of when she's closing on $2 million houses. But we'll get that done. And then once we get that done, we'll add on. I'll even talk to Joe down in Port Charlotte because he loves one of the things, Peachland Dental, one of the things he said that he loved the most when watching our podcast was when you and I did our picks. He liked that. That was the thing he really got excited about, and especially with the spread, because anybody can pick Ohio State to beat Wisconsin. Okay, anybody can do that, but can they do it by 21 points? That's what we want to know. Right, QB?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Skip on Facebook Live says JC should run against his brother.
What?
Run for office against your brother. Todd says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law.
I'd lose.
He says, any chance we see more four wides with two running backs and create different? Well, we haven't seen that yet, Todd. We have not run four wide receivers one time in Billy Napier's career. We line up with four eligible receivers,
everything,
four wide receivers.
Everything looked very similar in the Texas game. It was just
there was no different. It
right.
was the same plays, same offense, but you blocked and you executed.
That's right.
That goes a long way. Execution is key.
And dominating the line of scrimmage, right?
I mean, that is the key. All right, JC.
Football's easy, really, when you think about it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we're not solving cancer, right?
You're not doing quantum computing and having atoms speak to the computer.
No. Well, they may have some of those analysts maybe trying to do all the analytics, which is stupid to me.
Well, let's hear what old Edgar has to say. I'm sure he's looking forward to a trip to College Station for a 7 o'clock game and a 4 a.m. return.
No, he won't be coming. You got to remember the media can't leave after the game, JC. They're not.
Oh my God, poor Edgar. Poor Edgar. Oh man.
They have to drive back to the hotel, spend the night, then drive to Houston, and then fly to Orlando, and then drive home. I mean, thank God I would not do the radio if I had to do all that.
Well, Edgar's an Orlando guy. He gets at least a direct flight, but gee whiz, that's a tough.
Lives here though.
Yeah, it's not a bad gig, man. I'm excited to hear what Edgar has to say.
All right, have a good day, JC. That's JC joining us on the Titan More Hotline.
Tomorrow, 8:30, Win with JC, right here.
Big show. We'll be right back with Edgar Thompson. You're watching and listening PodUp Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Signs, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave, Los Landeros tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros tequila, smooth enough to drink neat, bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Landeros tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Landeros.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios, Miapa Latin Cafe, proud to support Gator Nation for 22 years. New location opened in Alachua, new building, same great food, served with a smile. Check out one of their 5 locations today. That's Miapa Latin Cafe. Back to the Titan Tomorrow Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We're joined by the Orlando Sentinel's Edgar Thompson. Good morning, Edgar. How you doing, my man?
So my guy G. Allen Taylor, you remember G. Allen?
Yeah.
Miapa.
Miapa. Well, I guess I heard you've always told me that, but I heard a commercial the other day on the radio, and the young lady said Miapa. So
I like Miapa's punchier. I just had a cortadito there yesterday, so I go all the time.
all right.
Strong coffee.
I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know.
That's
All
right.
right, Edgar, let's talk briefly about the Texas game. Your thoughts, what the health of DJ. I know Billy's not going to tell anybody. He'll probably have to be on the report that comes out tomorrow. Is that right? Or is it
Tomorrow
today?
night. Or tonight, 8:10 tonight.
Yeah. Just give us your thoughts of the game.
Well, the negative is I don't know how good Texas is. Right? Texas has problems, but Florida capitalized and set the tone, I thought, the opening drive on offense. The physicality on that drive was very impressive. They were ready to roll. The Dallas Wilson play where he dragged 2 guys and knocked a guy's helmet off. I mean, he made some statements early. He did fumble initially, but that guy nailed him. It didn't look like it fazed the kid, and he recovered the fumble, and they were going from there. That's their first touchdown drive they've scored on against an FBS team to open the game all season. So that was good. And then the defense just swarmed from the jump. I mean, Manning just was rattled, couldn't get rid of the ball. I think at halftime we were even talking, some guys were open. He just couldn't see them or get rid of it. He had a guy wide open one time, and just fluttered it out there in the second half. It could have been a big play. So they had some chances. I mean, what was it? The receiver throwback pass. It's a pretty good call.
Oh, that was wide open, wasn't it? The double
Yeah.
pass?
And he just overthrew him barely. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad a throw. The tight end just, lacked the extra gear to get to it. But yeah, so I mean, look, they won a game they had to win. They lose that. I mean, we're like in job search mode almost because they're going to Texas A&M, which I think is going to be very difficult to win this weekend. And suddenly you'd be like 1-5. Instead, Billy still got a chance, and it's a very slim one, but he did first step of that, and we'll see where it goes from here. So, but you did say Lagway and DJ obviously second drive. I didn't get what happened because he tried to throw like a jump pass, and I
No,
didn't.
no. So what happened was we run a lot of those.
He just kind of hopped,
Yeah. So it was a naked bootleg, which we run a lot of. I still don't call it naked bootleg, even though it's out of the pistol, fake one way, roll right. And as soon as he faked and started rolling about his second step, that hamstring or calf or whatever the injury is, it grabbed. And that makes you just kind of like
Okay, because
bump or whatever.
it was bizarre. I'm like, what's that play?
As soon as he did it, I said he's hurt.
He
And
was.
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see
He ended
how
up in
he
the
feels.
medical tent for a bit and played through it.
Yeah.
But now we're back to where we were a year ago, right? Where he's gonna just be a pocket passer. Now, DJ has not been the dual threat that I thought he might end up being, though someone familiar with Texas football said he was such a man among boys that he isn't like a special runner like someone like AR, right?
No,
And
I've never thought he was a very good runner, even when he was healthy.
yeah,
Yeah,
well, Arch is a nice runner. He
he's a
doesn't run
very good
like
runner.
that.
He's
And
very athletic. He's more
yeah,
athletic than DJ.
yes, and then this weekend, this kid is a terrific runner, Marcel Reed, as we saw last year in his first start, and he ran for 81 yards on the Gators. So, yeah, it's he's not that, but it's still nice to have a little mobility, and he might be limited there.
Yeah.
And Texas A&M's got some really good front. I mean, they're seventh nationally in sacks and 12th in tackles for loss. They have the leading sack guy in the league, Cassius Howe, who's a kid what played at Bowling Green, another transfer, but they're pretty talented, man. And it's a big ask to go into Kyle Field and win these days again. And to. But I think the Gators, I mean, they played LSU, 5 interceptions. They could have won that game.
Yeah.
And Miami, they were played tough. I mean, I never thought they were going to win that game. They couldn't move the football at all. So Florida hasn't really like backed down from winning. The USF game is the one that's going to haunt Billy for years to come and is inexplicable.
True. Maury has a good question here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Says, QB, what are your thoughts on the travel process of the program? We have such a terrible away record and was wondering if the process itself is a factor. They travel just like every other team. Now, once they go to meetings and all that stuff, that I don't know. And I'm sure they have a curfew. They have to be in bed about a certain time. They eat at the same time as every other team. It's just we have not played well on the road. There's no question about that. I don't know how you change it.
0-12 in the regular season against ranked teams.
And how many SEC games has Billy won on the road? Is it 2 or 1? I know we beat South Carolina when we came back, from like 14.
Well, they won at A&M with AR.
That's right, but they had like half the team was sick, right?
Yeah, and he had a big game.
I think those are the 2 wins he's had on the road in the conference.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I should have that in front of me. I think his road record's like 4-16 though overall or something.
That ain't good. That ain't good. Hopefully it'll change around this week. Let's switch gears real quick
Sure.
to basketball. I actually went to basketball practice Tuesday
Mhm.
while they were practicing in the O'Connell Center. And man, that's an impressive basketball team they got there, especially the front court. when those three bigs. But I like the new transfers a lot. I like the freshmen a lot. What can you tell us about basketball, Edgar?
I mean, it's another stacked team. The one thing he did say recently is they don't have a shot maker like Walter Clayton,
No.
which is like saying you don't have Percy Harvin on the football team. I mean, right? You only that you get a guy like that once in a while, if ever again. I mean, that kid was so clutch in the NCAA tournament. I'm still like, I still like kind of think about that whole run and how fun that was. It was just, a terrific experience to go out and cover that team for those 6 games. And he was spectacular. So who's going to be the guy when they need the big play at the end of a ball game? They're going to have to identify that. But I mean, talent-wise, Condon looks like $1 million. The kid walked in the other day and I'm like, man, you've worked on your body. I mean, he's down to like 5% body fat and added like 10 pounds of muscle. He looks totally different physically. Hauk is playing the 3 now. And he's just, you talk about a guy who's gone from, an afterthought to he could be a lottery pick, this kid. I mean, he can rip it from long range. I can defend, runs the floor great. And yesterday, I think maybe it was either Ingram or Lloyd, CJ Ingram, Alex Lloyd. I think it was CJ Ingram saying he can handle he's got a sneaky good handle. So, and then Chiniello is improving. And I thought he had that little hook shot down last year as the season progressed. And Todd says that's automatic now. So if he can hit that, 4 or 5 times a game, suddenly that opens up things too. You get him averaging 10, 11 and 8, 9. You got a nice guy there to go with Condon, go with Hauk. And I mean, and then the new backcourt. I mean, these 2 transfers are excellent ball handlers, passers. Boogie Flan on ball defense is supposed to be just elite. Stephen Castle, who now is in the NBA. I think Alex Lloyd said that's the only guy who's defended him one-on-one more impressively than Boogie Flan, who he goes against every day. So they got a lot of pieces, man. Lee's like a really elite passer, very, very heady player, and a lot to like. CJ Ingram spoke yesterday, man. That kid's put together, man. He is, oh my Lord, the shoulders and traps on that kid. But he comes by it naturally. CJ Cornelius Ingram was a beast, and his kid has inherited his athletic, skills in many ways. But he sounds like he's just a tough-minded player who just rebounds hard. And then Lloyd is a real just polished scorer.
He's the true freshman that will play the most.
Yeah, he's just a polished scorer. He played on 3 straight Peach Jam national champion teams.
Yeah.
So he's a winner. He's a polished player. These are 2 very good like foundation pieces for the future here for Todd. So, and I'm probably forgetting some guys. Irby talked yesterday, Clouzar. I mean, he's a pretty solid damn player. I mean, coming off the bench. So they got a lot, man. Todd's got to replace some staff. Let's not underestimate how effective Hovde was, particularly in Anderjack on defense. Those guys were excellent coaches, so let's see how that goes. But this team's another team that you got to be thinking preseason. I mean, at least getting, they're getting through the first weekend, and then all of a sudden it's like matchups and some luck and hitting big shots. But if this team doesn't make the Elite 8, at least I'll be stunned. And going back to the Final Four would be unsurprising at all.
Yeah, I would say today, the rotate. I'm trying to remember. Todd likes to play 7 or is it 9 players? I can't remember.
I mean, he'll go upwards of 9, but a lot of teams they start to kind of.
He's going to have the starting 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Handlockton would make 6.
Yeah.
Urban makes 7, and then one of the Brown brothers.
I think they're I think those 2 are the ones that are on the outside looking in currently.
Yeah, well, yes and no, but then I think Alex Lloyd. I think Alex Lloyd, one of the Browns, and then Cornelius' kid, because just from what I've been told, from what they're telling me there. But they got a lot of people to choose from for
The
sure.
thing with Ingram, though, and I'll say this because this is what somebody said the other day who's familiar with the program or within the program, said Ingram's come on like nobody on the team in the last 2, 3 weeks. He's an athlete, man. I mean, the guy he's just a relentless kind of athletic kid. And those are kind of glue guys. And you like playing guys like that, right? They get the loose balls, they get the rebound, maybe the putback, play with the energy that you really need in spurts. So those are the kind of guys you like getting off the bench, unless you're just an elite scorer like maybe Alex Lloyd is. So we'll see how it all plays out, man. Tough, not good decisions to have, as they like to say, right, coaches?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's gonna be some guys that are upset because they're not getting playing time for sure.
Yeah.
Text here on the Titanamar text line from Greg. He says, Edgar, we get this question every day for every guest. How
Mhm.
many games does Billy have to win to keep his job?
I mean, if you're just in a vacuum, 8, but that means he's got to win all but one game from here on out. But if they got to 7-5 and DJ's playing well, Dallas Wilson, you see how much you missed him. And you're seeing these young interior defensive linemen who are emerging, and some of these, the guys like Miles Graham, who's already a complete stud, and some of these young guys. Could you convince yourself like VB3, Wilson, Ball, Lagway? You got this incredible nucleus right there. You got some young defenders. You're building something here that just took a while to get going because of DJ's injuries, Dallas's unavailability, and that becomes a tougher decision at 7-5 than it would have been just independently on paper. But if you lose this week and then to Georgia, you're 3-5, and that decision could be coming then, and it's whatever the 5 are. That USF game, man, that game is just going to it's a tough one to get your mind around. Like how do you lose that game in the swamp and look in the way you look doing it? And again, at the end of this game, fourth quarter, trying to close it out. You were saying it was funny at halftime. You and I always like to chat, and you give great insight. You're like, dude, they're running the same plays they always run. They're just executing. Okay. Well, in the fourth quarter, they're doing the same stuff and not executing on the key downs. And it looks just bad when you start getting that conservative and running 4 minute, trying to run out the clock. Remember when Boone did that against South Carolina and it bit him in the butt? And that was the last game he coached in the swamp, right? 23-20. They were winning that game handily. And he's just playing to punt, basically. And Billy is just playing for field goals at times. Like, remember the one when they get down there after the big Vernell Brown catch, the 60-yarder, that great play? I mean, what a spectacular catch. That kid's impressive. He spoke Monday too, man. His focus, he's an unbelievable kid. But I talked to his dad yesterday and wrote a story that's out today or out yesterday about just kind of his maturity and stuff. But he's a playmaker, man. So anyway, after that play, you get down there and you just do nothing. And then it's 3rd and 9. And I mean, okay, Trey Smack's going to kick, what, a 42-yarder instead of a 38-yarder or whatever it turned up in?
Well,
just throw a pass.
I agree, but I even said on the air, I had no problem with that call because A, you get sacked or you get a holding call on a pass play.
Fair.
You throw an interception. I mean,
Yep.
I still go back to this. We all know DJ's talent and stuff, but DJ doesn't make great decisions at times, right?
Okay, but you're in 3rd and 9. Let's not get to 3rd and 9. Anyway, they ran some good stuff at times for sure. I mean, that Livingston one when they're backed up on the end zone, great call, right? Remember that one?
Yeah.
Where they got out of a sticky situation there? There were some good calls. Don't get me wrong. This wasn't like, oh my God, this is just like unwatchable. But then you got 3rd and 3, and it's like, everyone knows Ball's probably getting the football. And it's like you're on the 41 of Texas, and it's like fake it to Ball. Get it out there. Try that tight end play again, or do another one of those
But if that one doesn't work, you should have handed it to Ball, Edgar.
What do you mean?
If those plays that you just described he should have done don't work, then they're going to say, why did you not hand the ball to Ball when it was 3rd and 3?
All right, well, he ran it outside and lost 3. At least run it up a quick one up in
Well,
the
he may have bounced. I don't remember the play, but he could have bounced.
Oh my God, he swept it out and lost 3 yards on 3rd and 3.
So let me just. So do you remember the touchdown on the first drive?
But here's my question: are you not saying that the play calling got a little too?
I thought Billy called almost his best game he's been since.
Okay, but what about the fourth quarter?
I don't have a problem with that because I understand. I try to work the clock too, and it's not like we are a well-oiled machine on offense. So I had no problem with him.
Pretty well-oiled the other day
because we tried to go for the jugular when we were up 14 points and throw an out and up, and he threw an interception, and they got Texas go down and score and got him right back in the game. So look, I also got to give credit to Texas. Sometimes they made some plays, but for example, Ball's first touchdown run was an inside run, but we didn't block anybody, and he bounced it outside and scored.
That was a great run by him.
That was all him. But
that jump
we
cut
didn't really block anybody. So play calling is a strange deal because not everything's
Did you not think though there were times where he could have gone for the jugular?
He did, but
it felt like they didn't.
He went for it when we were up 28-14, I think the score was. Or we were up 2 scores.
It was 29-14.
Okay, it was 29-14. He went for the jugular, and we threw an interception.
That was one of DJ's, I think, maybe 3 throws that were pretty.
Right, but he was going for the jugular. So if he doesn't go for the jugular there, and we hand it off a couple times, get a couple first downs, Texas.
No, I won't disagree with that. I'm just saying you're in the 25 or the 21 or whatever it was, 25, and you don't do anything with the football after a 60-yard play. I'm saying that whole series of downs, not just the specific third.
You got to also remember the quarterback is hurt. He's been hurt, but he's really hurt now with whatever that leg injury is. It was very visible Saturday. So
no, it was. But then I'm just saying 3rd and 3. I mean, DJ was on point the other day. That was the day. This was a day where DJ had it going. It was Jake Slaughter even said he was like shocked how quickly the ball was coming out. He's like 3 seconds, that ball was out.
It was almost like they told him who to throw it to, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, tell him who to throw it to on 3rd and 3.
I agree. Keep the ball outside so it's safe for him. Edgar, time flies by, my man. Let everybody know how they can. Are you writing anything good that people can look at here in the next day or two?
I wrote this Vernell Brown thing I thought was pretty good. I have a little story on DJ going home. That'll be, I think, pretty good. I'm actually working on. And
so the Vernell story has already been posted?
That will be, I'm going to write that later today or first thing tomorrow. But I'm doing my burning questions. And where's Trey Wilson was one of them. What is up with that?
He's not as good as the other guys. That's simple.
I get it, but he was one target, and then he's coming off a 1-catch game and a 2-catch game.
I wouldn't throw him the ball until he takes that dumb crap off the back of his back plate.
Which is yak.
Yeah, I would not even let him play because it drives me insane. That is Bush League, Pop Warner crap. I can't believe they even allow it.
Well, it's misrepresented. It's misrepresentative of the game that he's putting on the field right now.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if he had 8,000 yards after the catch. It's embarrassing.
How did we just blow through 20 minutes, dude?
It flies by. Edgar, we'll see you in Texas, my friend.
Thank you.
That's Edgar Thompson joining us on the Titan No More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Town. Appreciate it, Edgar. JC for joining us. We'll be here tomorrow. Brink Beard and JC and Brian Edwards with their Win with JC show in the second portion. Have a great day. Enjoy all the baseball. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.